Hi, Reece from PD Gamers with a Castle Clash tutorial video for Lost Battlefield. Lost Battlefield can be found by selecting your arena and clicking the last tab, Lost Battlefield, which brings you to the Lost Battlefield page. On this page you get 5 opponents that you can challenge to earn rewards of fame and Lost Battlefield points. The higher the points of your opposition, the higher the points you earn, so generally as a rule, if you can beat any one of your 5 showing, you want to fight the people with the highest points. Sometimes you can select an opponent that looks like he's likely to be particularly weak for a slight loss of points. So like in this instance, I will fight against the Paladin because it's an unevolved Paladin in the first team, and as Paladin's an exceptionally weak hero, I'm expecting the opponent won't have a very strong account. The battles take place very similar to the Lost Realm Altar battles, where it's 5 vs 5 on this setup, and it's a best of 3 matches with 3 teams of 5. Hero selection is critical for Lost Battlefield, and you want to set up teams of heroes that complement each other and have the best chance against the heroes you're likely to face. As a result, and as the result of much testing and preparation work, the best teams I feel to be using are teams focused on the hero Ares, who can win battles on his own, and the hero Atlanticor that can also win battles on its own. For your third team, it is best to use the best heroes you have available that don't specifically complement those 2 heroes. With that in mind, I'll show you my teams after this battle. Alrighty, to set your team up, you click the Form Team button, which will open this screen, and you'll be able to see your 3 teams. It doesn't tell you which rank they are, so you have to do a bit of testing to find out which one's appearing first. For me, the team that appears first is this one, followed by this one, followed by this one. So my 3 teams set up as follows. My first team is my Ares team. The goal of this team is to win whenever my Ares procs. So if my Ares happens to proc before their Ares, or the opponent doesn't have an Ares, all I need is enough damage from my heroes to make sure that any opposition team will be dead before the Ares proc wears off and the other team gets to proc back. So as a result, building this team is quite simple. Ares being the cornerstone, Pumpkin Duke's the highest DPS providing hero in the game, so it's an absolute must, and then from there you just pick heroes that either do exceptional damage or have an exceptional effect. So I'm using Thunder God in this team because with PD having multiple procs going, Thunder God attacks very fast and he has a stun proc with no cooldown. So as a result, he's an exceptionally valuable member because he can effectively extend your Ares silence by a couple of seconds if he procs towards the end of it. Harpy Queen's a high damage dealer, which is why she's in there. And Orcsbane, whilst not being an exceptional damage dealer, is in there simply so there's a healer in the team to help survive low-level Atlanticors if they happen to proc before my Ares or have Psy Shield. So this team will tend to win against most teams that don't have an Ares in it, or an Ares with 505 revive, because mine only has 405. Occasionally though, a Skull Knight with revive or an Atlanticor that's a high level that procs first can be a problem. Second team is the Atlanticor team. Atlanticor is, in my opinion, the best hero in Lost Battlefield. It wins the most battles on its own that generally you would expect it shouldn't win, and as a result, it's the cornerstone of my second team, and the whole team is built around it. So the keys to building around Atlanticor are: healers are good. Triantor's the best support hero because he can revive your Atlanticor for a second proc, and beyond that, you don't want any heroes that stun, and you don't want any heroes that reduce the opposition's attack, because that's what kills them in the end. So as a result, my team has Warlock, because he's just a decent damage dealer that wasn't good enough for my final team. Triantor to support my Atlanticor, my best healer Druid to support the Atlanticor, and Spirit Mage is the last hero because he's a high damage dealer and can help get Atlanticor across the line after he's procced. Atlantical tends to do very well against any team except Ares. Ares is the only hero that's a significant problem for him. High level destroyers can be a problem as well because the life drain can keep them alive. But hopefully with the DPS heroes, high damage heroes in the team as well, you can get through destroyers. Ares, however, a serious problem because if the Ares procs, both the revive talent and the Atlantical proc won't work, and as a result they'll just die, especially when they're sitting at the front like mine is. As a result, I've put Psy Shield on my Atlantical so that if my opponent has an Ares team up against it that doesn't include a Dreaddrake, or if their Harpy or Warlock misses, if they proc first, the Atlantical will survive the Ares proc and proc back and win. The last team is essentially a tiebreak team, and that should generally be your strongest heroes that aren't specifically required for the other two teams. So my strongest team is built around my Cupid because it's my best hero. It's my only hero with 5/5 Revitalize, and it's exceptionally useful in this game mode. So my Cupid has 5/5 Revite, and my Minotaur has 4/5 Revite in the front row, and I have a 3/5 Revitalize crest on my Destroyer in the back row. Well, actually no, I don't anymore. I have Berserk crest on it now. So the idea with this side is my Cupid, which has Sprint and Revitalize, is going to proc at the start of battle. So against any team that doesn't include an Ares, he's going to proc as soon as he gets to them, which will fill Minotaur's energy and allow him to proc on first attack at half a second later. And by the time the Minotaur stun of 2 seconds wears off, Vlad procs, providing another 2.5 second stun, and towards the end of that, Destroyer procs if they're still alive. My Vlad's my highest non-Pumpkin Duke damage dealer, and he has Axe of Strife on him, so normally his proc just ends the battle. But as a result, just in case, I've thrown in Imhotep as the last hero, just to add a little bit of extra stun and damage to help push those heroes across the line. This team does very well against non-Ares teams, same as before. Ares is a challenging hero because it shuts down all of your heroes. And this team does fine against Skull Knights because Destroyer can tank most Skull Knights. Skull Knights with Revitalize and Life Drain can be a bit of a problem though. As for team placement, you generally just want to pick a team you want to place first that either lets you pick good matchups or avoid bad ones. So I pick the Ares team to go first because I know my Ares team is going to lose to most opposition Ares teams, especially evolved Ares teams, because a lot of people have Revite 5, so as a result I can avoid anyone with Ares as their face-up hero in the Lost Battlefield screen. And then I place my power team at the back because I noticed on my server that not many people had their Ares team as their third rank side, and that's the only thing that this team doesn't want to battle, so I place it there to protect it. So with that, let's complete the rest of our Lost Battlefield. So Vel Skull Knights can be a problem, but hopefully it'll die before it's able to proc. Well, it didn't, but it should be fine. Well, it's going to be close. No. Too strong. Yeah, Skull Knight's definitely a problem hero at high levels. Skull Knight and Dreaddrake are the two problem heroes, really. This team should be a walkthrough. And there's no Ares, so this one should be a pretty easy win as well for the most part. So you'll see Minotaur proc right away, then Vlad will proc, and GG. Game over. And because it's an unevolved hero face up on the highest point earner, I'm going to challenge them. It's also an Atlantical, which is a good matchup for Ares typically, although apparently the opposition Ares is here, but it doesn't have Rewrite, so I should proc first. There we go. And this time I think the Skull Knight will die before the Ares proc wears off. Yep. And now with the Ares and the Atlantical gone, it's impossible for both my next two teams to lose. One of them will always win. As to which one, I don't know. I don't know if this one will win. Well, it's looking alright. Well done, well done. So this is being a particularly good day for Lost Battlefield. another unevolved hero, so I'm going to fight them. Anytime there's an unevolved hero, it's going to give you a better chance of having a good matchup. Although here we got the bad first matchup, which is my Ares versus Revived Ares, so we're going to lose the first battle. But with Ares gone, we should be okay for the next two most of the time. I'm worried about seeing a Skull Knight against my Atlanticor team. No, this team will be okay. As long as my Atlanticor gets to proc, we should be fine. Oh, and he didn't. Oh, yes he did. So he didn't get to proc there because he got stuck between Vlad and Santa. But fortunately, Triantor was revived after he died, and then proc to bring Atlanticor back to life so that he could proc and win the battle. And then my power team should win pretty easily all the time, as they do. And there we go. Successful Lost Battlefield for the day. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel for more Castle Clash tutorial videos, and check out our website at www.pdgamers.com. Thanks.